Greetings and welcome, dear friends and fellow adventurers. I am but a humble storyteller, a bard who has traveled far and wide in search of tales to share with you. As you gather here once again in this cozy tavern, I invite you to sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey through lands both near and far, filled with wonders and dangers beyond measure. For those who are new to our little gathering, fear not. I am Mordecai, also known as the Solemn Bard, and I assure you that you are among kindred spirits, all seeking a moment of respite from the rigors of the world outside. And what better way to do that than to share in the tales of heroes and villains, of love and loss, of triumph and tragedy. So let us raise our tankards and toast to the power of stories, to the magic of imagination, and to the bonds of friendship that bring us together in this place. But first, a few simple messages. If you want to support us, please give us a like, share, and perhaps subscribe to our channel to help make us grow and bring you more stories like this. Here are the links below. And with that, let us begin our journey to the realms of the fantastical and the extraordinary, where everything is possible and everything is worth experiencing. Are you ready, my friends? Then, let us begin. Khan's room was simple, his furniture basic but well crafted. A bed, a large table with 2 chairs, and a washstand with a porcelain basin in it. Khan pushed the bed to one side and moved the table into the room's center. He unloaded his backpack, taking care to ensure the Silex, still in its case, was secure.
The most coherent argument Joda and Jaya had against assisting us was that we do not know where the frictions are. If we can determine their location, then we will be able to persuade Joda and Jaya to help.
And perhaps the others as well.
Johnny paused, his powerful body coiled.
How?
A scrying device.
Khan lifted his hand above the tabletop. He generated first the viewing plane, a copper sheet covered in crystal. He filled the narrow layer between the 2 materials with liquid. The device's remainder, a complex assemblage of mechanical parts, required his concentration. His body buzzed with the magic coursing through him. Najani watched him, the pale blue of his unscarred eye attentive.
What is that?
It is for viewing remote locations.
Khan let pride seep into his voice. He developed the plan for it himself, and he knew of no other device that could perform similarly. Khan focused on Joyra. Not on her face, not on her physical presence, but on her essence, the qualities that made her Joyra. How she always saw through a person's circumstances to their essence. How she was willing to give everyone the benefit of a doubt. The mana rig resolved within the crystal. At first fuzzy, the image filled with depth, then color. Perched upon a cliff's edge in Shiv's brutal desert, the metal structure had the size and complexity of a small city. The image tightened into a single location, a workshop with Joyra in it. She sat at a workbench, Her head bent, bronze hair bound and falling between her shoulder blades. She flipped a disconnected toggle back and forth, as if thinking.
Can you view Shieldred?
Ajani asked. All too easily could Khan visualize Shieldred, her humanoid torso rising from her scorpion-like body, a voice intimate and resonant inside his head. Khan, such chance. The scryer's image dissolved into mistiness. Khan leaned back on his heels. Johnny glanced at Khan.
They must have protections in place to prevent us from scrying them.
A sensible precaution.
Unfortunately, Johnny pulled the amulet from his belt that could summon the Weatherlight. He placed it in Khan's palm.
You'll need this.
Khan examined the amulet. It seemed a straightforward device.
I can make a twin of this.
Johnny smiled, his lips closed.
Even better.
Khan extended his senses into the amulet. He reproduced it, the metal coiling up from his fingertips to form an identical amulet. Johnny clipped the original to his belt while Khan manufactured a chain for his copy. Khan hung the amulet from his neck, feeling odd about the adornment. Normally, he eschewed such things. A varied thrush perched on Khan's windowsill, behind Johnny's shoulder. If Khan could draw the Phyrexians out, he would not need to find them. He'd know where they were. The Phyrexians wanted to neutralize Dominaria's most powerful weapons. That included the Silex. He would use news of its presence to lure them into the open. But first, he had to hide the Silex somewhere safe.
Perhaps if we could speak to Jaya alone, we could persuade her. She's no diplomat at heart.
Khan stared at the varied thrush, so still, so attentive.
Perhaps.
Khan let himself into the negotiations. Sten was setting an inkwell on the granite table as Joda and Jaya gave both Radha and Aaron Capashen quill pence. He did not wish to interrupt before they signed. The sea breeze poured over the balcony, cool with springtime's edge. "You're an impressive leader," Aaron said. "I am proud to enter this new era with you." Radha smiled. "You do like to talk fancy." "And you like to be mistaken for a brute," Aaron Capashen said. "Anyone who takes you for a simple warrior must soon regret it." Joda smiled. "Radha, Aaron will bring this agreement to the other houses to present for ratification. I will accompany him to ensure that this process is accomplished within the next few months, during which all hostilities in the Ice Rime Hills will cease." Radha put up her hands, conceding. Yes, the sacred sites aren't worth any more war, no matter what artifacts they may contain." A breeze stirred the room as a pale blue bead of light formed mid-air. The light whirled outward into a disk that brightened into azure as the fairy stepped through the vortex. He'd aged well. His shoulders had broadened with middle age, grey threaded his hair, and his umber skin had Health's warm blush to it. "Another planeswalker?" Aaron sat back in his chair, exasperated. "It must be a sign of interesting times," Radha said. Joda stood. "What's happened?" "It's the Phyrexians. They are on Kamigawa." The fairy closed his eyes and shook his head. "Given what Kaya told me of what she saw in Kaldheim, they can travel between planes," Jaya said, lips drawn tight. After a moment, Joda said, "That is alarming to say the least." The Nut Khan explained this to both Jaya and Joda. He had seen this with his own eyes. He felt Shieldred's touch on his body, in his mind. Yet the fairy had arrived, bearing second-hand news and Joda and Jaya believed his assertions. Where were their requests for proof of a location now? Khan might as well have been a statue for all the regard he had given him, and the threat the fairy had warned them of wasn't even on Dominaria. But none of that mattered. Only one fact remained relevant.
If the Phyrexians have traveled between multiple planes, then their invasion plans are much more widespread and well coordinated than we anticipated.
Radha had tensed. Then we must fight! Aaron shook his head. His knights seemed restless, hands twitching toward their swords as if they expected to launch into action. I never would have thought I'd live to see another Phyrexian invasion. The true twilight has come, one of Radha's warriors hissed. How can we battle such creatures? However bad it is, Sten said, what will come is worse. Joda gave Jaya his calmest help me expression. Jaya flapped her hand at Khan and Ajani as if asking them to remove the fairy, the origin of this disruption. Radha and Aaron had not signed, and this made it seem like they wouldn't. Joda looked like he'd bitten down on a charged piece of aluminum. I have the feeling that my timing was less than immaculate, the fairy said. You don't say, Jaya said, and gave them a meaningful look. I am not certain about this mutual protection clause, Aaron began. It might be best to look to our own shores and our own peoples, Radha said. Khan ushered the fairy away toward the door. The fairy let him. My dear friends, I hope that my tale has brought you joy and excitement this evening. The world of Dominaria is one of wonder and mystery, where heroes and villains clash in battles that will be remembered for ages to come. As a bard, it is my honor to share these stories with you and to keep the flames of imagination burning bright within your hearts. Remember, whether you are a planeswalker or a mere mortal, you too can make a difference in this world. Let the courage of the characters I have shared with you inspire you to take up your own quests and to face the challenges that lie ahead with bravery and determination. And so, as the night draws to a close and the embers of the hearth begin to dim, I bid you all farewell. May your dreams be filled with adventure, and may your hearts always be open to the magic of storytelling. Thank you, and good night.